Today we're going to take a deep dive into the San Diego housing market. If you're watching this, you might be wondering whether it's the right time to make that big decision. Should you buy a house now, or is it better to wait until 2024 or beyond? With skyrocketing home prices and fluctuating mortgage rates, it's a tough call, but don't worry, we've got you covered. Stick around as we break down the real estate landscape and help you navigate this very complicated topic. If this is your first time here, my name is Bern McGovern. I'm a real estate agent here in San Diego with the Alta 56 Home Team. But let's get started with the basics. Home prices have been climbing steadily since the pandemic hit, plus efforts by the Federal Reserve to control inflation have pushed mortgage rates even higher. With all these moving parts, it's no surprise that a whopping 82% of potential home buyers are hesitant to enter the market right now. But hang on, there's hope on the horizon. The tables might just be turning in favor of buyers, especially in certain areas of the country. For instance, some places out west have seen significant drops in home prices. Predictions even suggest that over 30 metro areas, including hotspots like Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, and Phoenix, and Las Vegas, could tip towards buyers by the end of the year. Unfortunately, San Diego isn't on this list. It hasn't made it to the top 25 markets for sellers or buyers, according to Knock.com. Surprising, right? Bidding wars are still a thing, and housing inventory is super scarce here. This scarcity, along with mortgage rates climbing up, is what's keeping those prices high. The key player here is the lack of housing supply, which we've talked about over the previous months almost ad nauseum. In fact, our latest listing we just had last week in Torrey Highlands had 10 offers on it and sold way over asking price. Skylar Olson, chief economist at Zillow, recently stated that home prices will keep rising through 2024. Great news for sellers, but not so great for bargain-seeking buyers or just first-time home buyers in general. Lawrence Young, chief economist for the National Association of Realtors, also believes that the housing recession is over, if it had even started, thanks to the return of multiple offers indicating high demand. You would think with all this demand that home builders would kick home building into high gear, especially here in San Diego, but the high cost of materials and lack of available land makes it challenging, and not to mention time-consuming to catch up with the home buyer demand here in San Diego. After 2008, home builders are also very conscious of overbuilding as not to flood the market with homes all at once to risk a housing collapse. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is keeping an eye on the market's balance. As most of us realize, housing is very sensitive to interest rates, and the question is whether higher rates will help or hurt the market, despite mortgage rates hitting 7%. If you would have told me this time last year that home prices would remain this high with 7% interest rates, I would have called you crazy. But the San Diego housing market remains very resilient. Some slight good news: most economists expect rates to dip into the 5% range in 2024, and one even said it could be into the 4s by the end of 2024. And if you remember way back into the 2008 housing crash, while it's still fresh in my mind, experts suggest that any correction that this time around will likely be modest. If you're one of those doomsday predictors, here are a few things to monitor if there's a looming housing crash on the horizon. Number one, rapidly rising home prices and high interest rates. Check. Number two, overbuilding, not so much of a concern in San Diego and throughout most of the country here. Number three, predatory lending practices, which has been mostly cured by all the regulations they put in place. And number four is an abundance of distressed properties like foreclosures and short sales. And these numbers are at historic lows right now. I think in San Diego County, there's 13 foreclosures in all of San Diego County. Obviously, there's a lot more factors than that I will break down in a future video, but until we see more of these boxes getting checked, a housing crash seems unlikely, at least in the very near future. So the big question, should you buy now or wait? It's the $1 million question, or maybe the $2 million question here in San Diego. High mortgage rates and rising home prices might make you hesitant, but taking the plunge means building equity immediately and possibly avoiding future rate hikes as well as tax benefits. It's also a long-term investment. The fall and winter months can offer good opportunities for buyers when inventory increases and bidding wars typically ease up a bit. But just because it may be a good time for some people, it may not be a good time for everyone, obviously. You have to consider other factors too, like your credit scores, down payment, and how long you plan to stay in the home. But if all those things align, now might be a good time for you to dive into homeownership. Now, on the flip side, if you're hoping for lower mortgage rates or only planning on to live in the home for 2 to 3 years, then some patience might actually pay off down the road. Ultimately, your decision should match your financial stability and goals. Whatever you choose, keep in mind that the housing market is ever changing. Make sure you do your research before you buy or sell, and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions about the housing market or just anything San Diego related in general. Thanks for tuning in today's video, and if you got any value out of this, I appreciate you give the video a like, and if this is your first time to our channel, please subscribe to our channel as we post new videos every week. And if you're ever looking to buy or sell here in San Diego, love to help you out. Thanks for watching, and catch us next time. Bye.